Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, your sister friend. And y'all know I love helping women align with their life purpose, stepping into their power, aligning with their life purpose. It's all using ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. How y'all doing? Hello, the goddesses. Shout out to the G Hive. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Goddesses, how are y'all doing? So happy to be here this evening. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm ending the year on E. Woo! 2022, whatever it is. I feel like Shalimar, we're going to make this a night to remember. 2022, the year. Oh my goodness. And I'm trying to make, do I have some wood here? Okay, wait a minute. Let me, all right. I don't want no heat, universe. I don't want any heat. How are you, goddesses? How are you, G Hive? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the monthly reading, and I am recording it unlisted. So I just want to be able to go through, give you some things to think about as you come into this last little bit of 2022. We're headed into the last chapter, so let's see what it entails. And I do want y'all to know that I have a special reading offer for you all. For those who are looking to get a reading um, as we go into 2023 and to a certain degree to tie up 2022. If you're like me, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I get it all done? Is there anything else I need to do? What do I actually have to take into 2023? But also to get some perspective and vision as you go into this new month, looking at your transits, getting some wisdom from the oracle. You can sit down with me, and sometimes you just need to be heard and bounce your ideas off of people. I'm a coach, so I can, reflect back to you, maybe some things to think about. Hey, let's do this. It's a very special reading because I typically do not do 60-minute readings. I cannot do 60-minute readings. Anyone who comes into a reading with me, typically we're gonna go the whole 90 minutes. So it's a juicy enough reading, but it's also concise enough that you can get what you need in order to start 2023 off well. So hope that you all join me for that. 5 spots, 60 minutes done via Zoom. Yes. All right, goddesses, let me know if you have any questions. And I hope some of y'all will take me up on this offer. So, yeah, coming into December is pretty nice. We do have Mercury opposition Mars. So that's something that could feel like maybe people feel like they're having arguments going back and forth. It could be a day where it's more of like kind of like Star Wars. Also, our nervous systems can feel like they are elevated because Mercury is associated with the nervous system, the mind. So we could feel like we have overactive minds, but we do want to avoid the criticism. And then Mercury is sextile Saturn. And so what I love about that is um, it helps to bring stability to the mind. So I think we can balance out this first little part of this last week, these last few days in November. We'll be able to balance it out some. This is actually two um, indicators of what we can hold on. These are two indicators of being able to get things done or being able to think things through. I think it can be very productive this first part of the week, which then takes us into December. So, one thing I do want to just remind you all is that Jupiter went direct um, on the 23rd. So on the day of the new moon, Jupiter went direct, which is such a blessing in terms of the energy of that new moon. It has moving forward energy in it largely because Jupiter rules Sag. Whatever the planet is that rules that sign, whatever it's doing, it's going to be an indication of what we can expect. So in this regard, we're moving forward. And Jupiter is a planet that has to do with prosperity and abundance, um, and expansion and growth. It's a benefic planet. It's one of the great benefics, and so I love that about Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is one that you have to kind of like be cautious with because Jupiter is like, I can expand anything. It could be something that's good for you or something that is destroying your life. It doesn't really matter to me. I just give you what you want, right? So it will expand whatever we're doing in our lives. But I do love that it was moving direct in this sign of Sagittarius, a very good, a sign that has to do with abundance and good luck and good fortune. Love, love, love that. So that's one thing about going into December. We want to think about how many of the planets are moving forward. Actually, what I'm going to do is take this calendar up just a little bit just to look and see. Let's see here. In December, now Mercury goes retrograde at the end of December. So really in December, we'll start feeling the effects of Mercury retrograde because it doesn't start day of. It starts a little bit before. So mid-December, Mercury does slow down. Mars is retrograde. Uranus is retrograde. Pluto's retrograde. So we have coming into December, the two outer planets, we don't fully count those because those planets stay retrograde for so long, that when they're going retrograde, that's when we feel or when they're not, when they're starting to move direct, they're going to stop the retrograde and move forward. That's when we feel the greatest amount of energy with respect to whether or not they're moving forward or back. So the first half of the month coming into December, it's not too bad in terms of like energy where it's making you backtrack. But once we get to mid-December, I would say it will feel like we're slowing down. And, we both, well, actually, with Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, and Uranus retrograde, woo, that can create some tech issues. That can create some tech issues. So mid-December through easily mid-January, because Mercury goes direct on the 18th, Mars goes direct on the 12th. Actually, Uranus goes direct on the 22nd. So in terms of technology and things like that, I very much encourage you all to take care of your tech. I've noticed things with my computer and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Well, what's going on is Mars is retrograde, Uranus is retrograde. That will mess up our technology. So that's something to think about coming into December. Now, another thing I love is Venus becomes visible. So Venus has been very close to the sun. So she's what we call invisible. And so when Venus becomes visible and we have Jupiter moving direct, now we have the planets that are giving and loving and kind and very what's the word? Yeah, I can't think of it, but they are the ones where it's like, what do you want? I want to help you to manifest your dreams and your desires, right? So that I love. And so for Jupiter, when Jupiter went direct, Pisces and Sagittarius may have felt like, okay, I can finally get moving now. And actually, I am a Pisces. I did feel this spurt. I have been like way more active. I still feel a little tired because I am a Scorpio rising. And so that planet is moving in retrograde. And then my moon is ruled by Taurus. And so Venus has been invisible. So whenever a planet is invisible or retrograde, that, that you access that energy internally more so than being able to manifest. Is more difficult to manifest externally. Um, and so with Venus going visible, um, she is it will make Tauruses and Libras feel like they have more energy. And it's a rebirth, actually, when a planet goes from being invisible to visible. And these are the seven visible planets that we're talking about. Sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Yeah, okay, seven. And so when they become visible again, it's a rebirth of sorts. So that's something to think about. The Tauruses and the Libras, or wherever you have Taurus and Libra, that area of your chart, you will feel like it's coming back to life. You'll feel a freshness or a newness. Okay. So yeah, and with both of these planets, Jupiter and Venus, being direct or being visible, the ability to manifest will be, I am predicting, easier. That's my hope. Other things in your chart may counter that, but in general, if people been feeling like it's hard to manifest money, or the opportunities just don't seem to be there, you may feel like, oh, there they are. Okay, cool. We're moving forward, right? Okay, so Neptune moves direct on the 3rd. So, it's yet another planet that has been in retrograde mode and now it's moving forward. The one thing I will say about planets, the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, when they begin to slow down, it creates this intensity. Same with Venus, actually. It creates this intensity. And so I call it a pop. It may be like this pop. It's something will manifest that has to do with that planet in your life. It could be something that you actually really want or something you don't want. So one time, when Pluto was retrograding or moving direct, something like that, Pluto has to do with the pipes. And sure enough, I had a toilet overrun and the water went down into the lights in the kitchen and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, Pluto, no, not this. There was another time one of the planets, maybe it was Uranus or something like that, retrograded, or something like that. And I manifested a computer during that time. So it could be something. Okay, so Neptune has to do with spirituality, and it's very compassionate, loving energy. It has to do with illusions and creativity, sleep, getting away. So, those are themes that may come up in some way. Maybe, you're going to get a, I don't know, you're going to book a trip, or a trip all of a sudden will come your way and you can go to an island. The one thing I will say, though, is this month, especially through the middle part of the month, it's really important to be cautious of um, being scammed, and people trying to get over on you, or like you'll buy something and you're like, you might end up with buyer's remorse because it was something you didn't recognize about this thing. And Neptune brings a cloud, or actually the mutable signs, because it's planets in Pisces and Gemini and Sagittarius. And so while those planets are there, it really raises up mutable energy. And mutable energy is kind of like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's kind of like a chameleon type of energy. So, around the 3rd, I would say that's important to just be cautious about falling for, or actually it's the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, around that time, maybe even into the 10th. Yeah, just check and triple check is what I'll say. Neptune, things get lost, but who knows? Maybe with Neptune going direct, you lost something, but you'll find it. How about that? Okay, so we're going to have Mercury and Venus both go into Capricorn. important because Mercury is going to retrograde um, in Capricorn. So I guess that's what I'll put in to the membership. I'll put a Mercury retrograde mini course in there for you all. And so that you'll understand what this Mercury retrograde is about. Ooh, so yeah, I love Capricorn. First and foremost, Mercury and Venus going into Capricorn first, it's like it kind of gives us a preview of things that will be important. It's really interesting that we started the year out with Venus retrograde in Capricorn. That everyone felt like the year started in like let me see here. I think it was right at the end of January, beginning of February. That's when the world felt like, okay, we can start 2022, right? And so we're going to end the year with several planets because they're not always all the time together in one planet, the sun, Venus, and Mercury. But at some point, let me see here. Yeah, at some point, they're all three going to be in Capricorn. So that is fascinating. That is fascinating. And I think it may bring back some themes that we had going on at the beginning of the year. Um, Let me see, is there anything else I want to tell y'all about this one? But yeah, the other thing about Capricorn, so yes, linking it. Capricorn is a new season. And so it's like a double new beginning. A double new beginning. And so maybe the new beginnings is an extension of what was addressed at the top of this year. So you're moving forward. So whenever we have a new moon in Capricorn, it's like a double new moon. And Venus and Mercury are beginning to kind of like bring up these topics. Another reason why Capricorn is so important is that 2020 is what it was because of Capricorn. Now, some other stuff that was going on, but do not sleep. It was Capricorn. I remember Jupiter and Pluto meeting in Capricorn. And one of the things I loved about Jupiter and Pluto meeting in Capricorn was it was an opportunity for us to access inner resources that previously we had not accessed. So maybe what we're going to do is remember some inner resources that we have forgotten. We unearthed maybe in 2020, but we haven't fully utilized them. And so now we're going to start off with some new fresh start of using these. A lot of it is inner resources. I want you to think about the things that you figured out about yourself. I know folks maybe figured out some negative stuff, but we all had to dig deep during that time. Even if it wasn't a bad year for you, for me, it was actually there were parts of it that were extremely rough. Don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of 2020 where I was good because I got this slow down is what I really needed to do. So maybe that's something that some of us may be remembering. We need to slow down. We need to slow down so that we can connect with our inner resources. That's one thing that we teach in NLP. It literally all is within you. Whatever it is that you need, you can create it inside of you. People want to be confident. Confidence is something that you access inside of yourself, right? It's not actually anything out there. It's not what you do. You can be more confident. Like for the more I've gone live, I'm more confident, right? But it is truly a state that you can invoke from your inner resources. Think about something where you're like, oh, I had to dig deep to get this one done. That's what Capricorn did for us back then. So, yeah, that's something to think about for this season of Capricorn, this double start. The other thing that I noticed is Pluto is in Capricorn right now. So things like what's in Capricorn with this new moon? What's there? well, Pluto's been in Capricorn for since 2008. So, it's been plenty of Capricorn new moons with Pluto being there. Well, Pluto is there this year and next year. And then we will never see that again. Once in a lifetime. It's over. Pluto, new moon with Pluto in there, right? So I think it's also a really good time to be winding down perhaps a cycle from 2008. And it does take some time, you got to go back and inquire what was going on in 2008. Maybe look at some journals or go look at your social media. What were you posting about? Does it give you some clues, some memory of something that perhaps kicked off in 2008? I know for me, I remember I was really struggling with some bills at the time. And I was just doing my little Pisces thing. Like, I don't want to really face this. I don't really know what to do. And all of a sudden I heard, pick up the phone and call the bank. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, but you know what? I had said a prayer, and even though I was initiated into the goddess tradition on my way to being a priestess of Yemanjah, I was like, God, show did. I need for you. You said you were going to take care of me. Take care of me. I need for you to do it. I need you to help me with this. And so I heard, pick up the phone and call the bank. Oh my God. It was like the best thing ever. I didn't even really understand what was happening at the time. I just knew that the banks were making arrangements that they never would have made prior to that. And so, you know, that was something that came out. Mike, so I had just not ended, but put on pause my initiation into Yemanjah. And that was my way of really deepening my relationship with my Ori is what I call it, my higher self, my inner goddess, in terms of like I go to that place. Like that's my number one practice is to connect with that voice within me. That's what happened back in 2008. So it's interesting because I'm deepening that as we speak. This whole time has been this journey to really tapping the power within myself. So, wow, okay. Let's see here. So Mercury becomes visible on the 14th. And so when Mercury is visible, it makes it easier for us to access mercurial things like our speaking, our communication, which includes things like social media, our businesses. Mercury being visible also helps with the mind. Um, and just great conversation and nervous system. Also, Mercury being visible, we may want to be in our local community more. We may feel like we want to connect with our friends, our siblings, cousins, coworkers more during that time. And so you get about almost 2 weeks, not quite 2 weeks, of Mercury being visible. So um, I think that's good. Like, yeah, I like Mercury being visible. For sure, Geminian people and Virgos will perhaps feel like they have a little bit more energy and mental clarity. So Jupiter goes into Aries. So let me pull something up really quickly because I do want to speak on this. This is the um, one of the astrological events that when I had my first membership, I was like, I'm not quite sure about this. I don't like this. I think it's going to be rough. So starting around December 5th up to the 21st of December when Jupiter goes into Aries. Now, Jupiter in Aries is amazing. This is our second go round with this. The first time Jupiter went into Aries was in May. And then in October, it moved into, if I remember correctly, it was October, it moved back into Pisces. I can't remember news. Yes, I do. I have to go back and look at what was the news that came through on during that time. But The first time I do know when Jupiter, what, because see, in um, Vedic astrology, when a planet is going from water into fire, it is called Gandanta. It is karmic. So I think karmic things could potentially happen in Sagittarius and Pisces. Okay, I'm gonna need for y'all to pay attention. You could feel like something very karmic happens during that time, but everyone could be feeling that. And I kind of wonder, the first time it happened, Roe v. Wade was overturned, but this time I had been wondering, like, what? Oh, you know what? I don't know. October, November. I do know that a lot of people around that time of Jupiter going back into Pisces. Let's see, when was this? Jupiter moved into Pisces uh, on the 28th of October, which was pretty close to the day that we voted. But American people, we were like, we not for folks overturning Roe v. Wade. So it'll be interesting to see. It's other things that I'm sure that are there. I don't watch the news a lot, but I do remember noting that when Jupiter moved into Aries, oh my gosh, um, moved into Aries, that's when Roe v. Wade was overturned. And so one of the reasons I keep talking about Roe v. Wade is because Jupiter is the sign of judges. um, so yeah, it could be something with the judge or law, legal things. It could be something like that. Okay. Let's see here. The sun goes into Capricorn. Of course, that's the winter solstice. Um, here in the northern hemisphere, it's the longest night of the year and longest day of the year in the southern hemisphere. Um, and the sun will be squaring Jupiter. That's fun on that day. No, it's not fun. I don't know why I said that's fun. It's not fun. But the sun squared Jupiter. And so, yeah, that could be it's a square activates things. So I'm feeling even more like we will hear something. There will be some activation during that time. And it could, I don't know mundane astrology, which is the astrology of the world. It could have something to do with the judges and somebody like in a position of power, because the sun is like a power source. It's a boss kind of energy. Or it could be something new getting activated. But in our personal world, the sun square Jupiter is kind of like this energy where you will feel like I can conquer the world. And you may like overextend yourself. So you want to be cautious with that, but you also could get some ingenious ideas. You just might have to tell yourself, I'll have to, plan out a list of, or like time limit, like how long, will I work on A, B, C. So, because you don't want to overdo it, it can make you overdo it. But I do think that it can help us to feel um, optimistic and hopeful during that time. Kind of like, um, a light shining in the darkness. I wonder if is somebody going to get a light bulb moment or something where you felt like it was just so dark in your life, but then it'll be some glimmer of hope that comes through. But it may feel like it came through, because through something where it's not just ease and flow. It might feel a little bit stressful. Okay, so we have the new moon in Capricorn. This year, I mean, this month, I'm having the new moon um, circle on the 19th. So, if yeah, you can already register and get the early bird rate, but that's when the new moon is happening. Oh, also, how did I miss this full moon on the 7th in Gemini? So I am excited about that full moon because it's yet again a full moon that is connected to something that we've been hyper focused on. And it has to do with our Gemini house, which it would definitely be something that you started focusing on last year. It would have been something that was very top of your mind. And yeah, and it may have been some new direction that you were going in. You may see something culminate from that. Gemini has to do with ideas, so it could be some great ideas that come through, or you see some ideas that you've had, you're manifesting from those ideas. Um, but I'll talk more about that full moon during our full moon. It won't be a retreat, it'll be during the morning circle because I have to go visit my niece that weekend. So I cannot, she's graduating from FAMU. So I can't do the live stream past the 7th. Let's see here. So yeah, new moon in Capricorn on the 23rd. Exciting, exciting, exciting. I love Capricorn because it's about success. So yeah, that'll be a great one. And then Mercury Mercury's invisible on the 25th. And then Mercury goes retrograde on the 29th. So that will be exciting. That will be exciting. Because we will be able to slow down at a time when we probably need to slow down. And it's kind of like helping us maybe to wrap up 2022 before we go into 2023, and help us to get sort of detailed on what is it that we want to do. I hope that you set your new moon or your 2022 intentions if you want to go in 2022 with some New Year's intentions, goals, resolutions. I call them all, whatever you want to call them. I would say set it on the 23rd. Okay, we don't need the 1st. Let's do that on the 23rd with that new moon. All right. So let me pull a goddess for you all. Let me hurry up and choose that one right there. This one. Queen Nanny. She has to do with liberation. So this is a major theme for us for December 2022. And what she says is, first of all, she's out of Jamaica. She was a Maroon. It says Queen Mother Nanny of the Maroons was a spiritual leader, military strategist, and revolutionary. Ashanti healer brought to Jamaica in chains and escaped to lead rebellions. Nanny helped to free over 800 enslaved people. And so the guidance from this oracle says break free. So is there something in December that you need to break free from? Yeah, I think that this is definitely a month that you can do that, but it wouldn't be necessarily shocking. So I like that it doesn't have to be a shocking thing. You can choose to do it. Your dreams hold the power and keys to your liberation. You are freedom herself. Rise up. You deserve to feel free. What do you imagine for yourself? Daring to manifest your dreams is part of personal liberation. And quite frankly, these last few moons, they are so much about like, we're going to help you with our pure energy. Okay. So daring to manifest your dreams, I am making decisions, and feel free to join me, that the only thing that matters when it comes to manifesting dreams is I decide that's what I'm going to do. So I want to know, what do y'all think about that? So it says, and for some of us, a dream would just be like, for me, to be liberated from emotional eating, to just feel peaceful, to be liberated from fear. Who knows what this has to do with? Whatever your dream is. Find your own personal liberation codes in your soul's unspoken desires. Life is too short to live within someone else's story. Divine blessings and magic are on your side. Enjoy your freedom fully. Enjoying your freedom fully is the best gift to your ancestors. I cannot agree more. And her goddess declaration is, my dreams empower me. My dreams empower me. So let me give you all I would love to hear your thoughts on, what did you get from either the astrology as well as that reading? It's very important that you answer these questions, guys. And I love this for us for the month of December. I pulled, I am aligned. I am aligned. My thoughts, words, and actions reflect my truth. I am aligned. This is Tirra Omilade. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful December. I hope that you will consider being a part of the special reading offer that I have, which is, get yourself a reading. Come on in here with this priestess, this guide, this coach who is so ready to help you to understand your soul blueprint, help you to understand your path to liberation, and to help you get started off in a great 2023. Woo, 2023 is going to be a year to remember too. Woo, please, mothers with grace and ease. Love y'all so much. Connect with you soon.